Hyperia was the UK's tallest and fastest roller coaster until it broke. It is a world-class Mack Rides hypercoaster, and when I say world-class, I mean world-class. This ride is phenomenal. I don't know who let Thorpe Park build this, but whoever did, pat them on the back, because this is a fantastic ride. The airtime, the forces, the speed, the pacing is just all 10 out of 10 perfect, and like genuinely it is 10 out of 10. I can't think of a single negative thing to say about this ride. People have criticised the ride's length in the past, but when you're on it, you don't feel it. Like, it really doesn't matter when you're on it. The first drop is like Velocicoaster's Mosasaurus roll, but bigger, like twice the size, and also it's faster. Unless you're like on the front row, you don't see the drop coming at all. And when you're curving over the top of the, like, it's just, oh my god. You're out of your seat the entire way down. I'm getting ahead of myself here. This is my full review of Hyperia at Thorpe Park. So let's start off with the layout. Oh my god. They have packed so much airtime in such a short amount of layout. Every single element on the ride is ejector, or at least flowjector, the like where you're floating but not really floating, and like you get it. It's so strong as well. It's 14.8 seconds of airtime and you feel every second. We are really lucky to have this in the country. On the first drop, as I said originally, on the way down, you're instantly just thrown out of your seat. And this first, I want to actually talk about this first drop because it is probably the best first drop in the world. I can't think of anything that would beat it. The way that this drop is profiled with the 180-degree turn is really unique actually, because you don't really see it turning while you're on it. So you as you're plunging down at 80 miles an hour, you feel like you're gonna hit the ground, and at the last second you twist round and carry on. And that's why a lot of people scream on the second half, because you feel like you're gonna hit the ground. It truly is the best first drop in the world, and I can't get enough of it. I'm so annoyed the ride's broken. Fix it. I want to get back on it. The valley upward into the Junior Immelman is really forceful. You get a nice view for like half a second of the rest of the ride layout and the queue below, and it is really, really good. Also, as you're curving up into the Junior Immelman, you get a nice head chopper effect with the support structure, which is pretty cool. Anyway, the Junior Immelman, people say this is the weakest element on the ride, and that's just not true. The strength of the ejector you get on the drop down is mental. There's also trims on the way down, but they're not really activated in this opening period because the ride isn't going fast enough, which is really good because you don't want this part slowed down at all. It is stupid how good the airtime is on this section of the ride, and we're not even halfway through yet. This is also where the photo section of the ride is. After you come down off the element, the photo thing is like right next to you as you're going up into the airtime stall banked downward roll thing. Speaking of which, this is a really weird part of the ride. Probably also the best. Actually, no. The first drop is the best part. This outer banked downward roll spiral thing is... I don't even have any words to describe it. It's so good. You just twist round and you feel like you're up, like hanging upside down. But it's not completely upside down, and you feel it's like you feel really weird on it. When you're looking from an off-ride perspective, this element looks like it goes really quickly around it, which is a good thing. But when you're on it, it feels so much slower. Like, this element lasts forever, and the airtime you get on the way down is just, as I've said, the airtime on this ride is phenomenal. But this is probably one of the best parts of it, where you just drop down into this weird banked stall kind of heartline roll into the rest of the layout, and it's really, really good. This ride has no pacing issues whatsoever. Even with the trim brakes on the splashdown, there's no pacing issues. There's a plane. And yeah, that leads us onto the third best element of this ride, the 0G stall. Now, I said before the outer bank downward roll lasts forever. No, this element lasts forever. The amount of time you're upside down for is crazy. You can see the whole queue line below you, as well as like the rest of the ride, but I'm telling you, when you're upside down, you're hanging forever. You can just relax your whole body, and you're just floating there. What am I doing? You're just floating there forever. The drop down is also really good. The curve, like as you're curving down into this, like the second half of the dive loop, you're just like, it's just, oh my god. Also, the splashdown element, I know you don't really feel it on the ride because it's a fake splashdown, but because of the trim brakes, it's actually a really cool part of the ride, because you got the water effects going up for everybody else in the queue line to see. But when you're on it, the brakes, because they do activate and they're pretty strong, but when they activate, you get the same noise effect as stealth makes on the final brake run. Yeah, you get like that little noise. I'd also like to point out one of the other good airtime moments on this ride, the wave turn. Oh my god, nothing about this ride is bad, not even the ending. This wave turn is insane, like really, really good. The ejector you get out of it as you're flung to the right, because it does whip you slightly to the right, so the ejector you get as you're swinging to the right is really, really good. I was thrown out my seat for at least 2 seconds there. As you go out the wave turn, you kind of curve around backwards, and as you do that, you kind of get a nice view of the whole ride, because like you look over and then there's like the first drop and all the elements, and it looks very cool. And then the ride's not done. There's an airtime hill on the brake run, which just gives you a surprise pop of ejector, which I was not expecting because I thought this would be really weak, but it's not. It's as strong as all the other elements on the ride. And yeah, you just get to the final brake run and you're like, what the hell just happened? Because the whole ride is over in like 20 seconds, but those 20 seconds feel so drawn out and so well used that it's not really an issue, really. In fact, before any of this, you have the exit of the station. The station is really, really good. Like, after that little weird video Thought Park released, where they teased the inside of the station, everyone was like, oh, it looks really bad. It's not really bad, trust me. The bits where you put your bag have, like, kind of flaps that open and close when you're on and off the ride. And I thought that was really cool. It looks really cool. I was like, huh. That looks cool. You get some nice smoke effects out of the station. The lighting is pretty cool. At night, from the night videos I've seen, the lighting looks pretty cool. You have this cool, like Furious Backhoe. You know, where they have a television screen just above the launch? They have that, but like wings. And that looks pretty cool. Instead of a launch, it's obviously you curve out the station. But yeah, that looks cool. The restraints are also, oh my god. The Mack lap bars, I didn't expect them to be so comfortable because I haven't been on any like major Mack rides coasters yet. But, well, now I have obviously because I've been on Hyperia, but those restraints, I did not expect them to be so comfy. I know people were raving about them, but I didn't expect it to be that comfy. Anyway, I'm yapping about lap bars here. This whole ride overall is really good. Like, top 10 in the world easily. Maybe even top 3 in Europe. Definitely the best in the UK. Also, the operations for this ride, I don't know if it was just opening day or if it's going to stay like that forever. But if they do stay forever, that's good. Because those operations were pretty incredible. Even though it was a 4, 5, 6 hour queues on opening day, the queue line didn't even feel that long because they just kept pumping out trains out of the station. It had to be at least one train every 25 seconds. That might have been an exaggeration, but it felt pretty quick. It might just forgive the fact that they broke it. Not quite though. Also, that random curve out the station, why is it banked so steeply? There was no need for that. But I love it. You just hanging out your seat at such an awkward angle, and it's so good for some reason. I don't know why. You just get to wave at the people in the queue line. That's pretty cool because there was a lot of like rider interaction with the queue line on that day, and I like that a lot. When you're going up the lift hill, it's like, I don't know how to describe it, but like if you're on the right hand side, you just see, as you're going up, you just see their dive stool and the Immelman like go past you, and that's really cool to see because you're like right next, because these elements are like right next to the lift hill, so you can almost touch them. But you can't, but it feels like it, and it's good. I want to talk about how organised opening day was for Hyperia. This is probably the best opening day for a ride, even though it closed the day after, but the actual day itself was really well organised. Well done, Thought Park, for actually planning an opening day, unlike another certain park, Europa Park. The queue line started up at the bridge instead of just at the ride area, which I think was pretty smart, as well as the fact that we got there pretty late in the afternoon, so there was barely any queue. We got to have a photo by the little Hyperia celebrity bit, and then you walk through, and it was pretty good, like really well thought out. They also had the people in high-vis jackets, which was a good idea as well. I don't want to say it wasn't too busy on opening day, because it was, but as the day went on, and especially the time I got there, which was like in late afternoon. But yeah, what I'm trying to say is, opening day for Hyperia, very well organised, well done. Fearless Valley, even though it has a questionable name, is pretty well done. I like it a lot. The soundtrack for this ride is also really, really cool. I don't know what about it is, but like it hasn't got the menacing undertone that a lot of the Thought Park rides have, apart from maybe Colossus and Stealth, but they don't have the menacing kind of vibe to them. It has this uplifting female screaming. I don't really know how to describe it. She's not really singing, but yeah, the soundtrack is good. Moving back to the ride area, it's an incredible area. It's definitely a welcome addition to Thought Park, as they have they have very loosely themed areas, but there's only 1 or 2 that are actually themed. Like, I'd say probably the jungle, actually no, not the jungle, the Lost City and Amity Beach. Those are the only kind of concentrated ride areas, so it's nice to have another one that's dedicated to an actual theme. Also, Slammer is getting removed. I saw it on, as I was like, this is kind of off topic, but as I was going on Colossus, I could see it. The key line for Black Mirror Labyrinth had been cleared, so you have like this big open area. So I don't know if they're removing Slammer or not, but there was rumours going around that they'd trademarked a name called Skybound, I'm pretty sure. That might be an extension to Fearless Valley. There's not a lot in Fearless Valley, but what there is pretty good. They have like, I think it's called Cloud9 Sweets, which is a dessert shop, which looks decent. They have the Hyporium. By the way, the merch in the Hyperium, in the Hyperia shop, it's like Nemesis Reborn. Everyone was talking about how good the Nemesis Reborn merch was, but Hyperia looks to be also that standard. Now, I didn't buy anything because I'm broke, but I'm sure whatever they have on offer is good. So what are my final thoughts on Hyperia? Well, it is one of the best rides in Europe, maybe even top 3. I would actually consider it the best hypercoaster, like, ever. I know that's a very hot take, but you know, you see where I'm coming from. Considering the airtime and the ride length and the theming and just the care gone into it, the transparency Thought Park have had while building this ride is incredible. No theme park really compares to the amount of information that's been revealed or given to us that compares to Hyperia. But yes, I'm going to give Hyperia a 10 out of 10 perfect. No, an 11 out of 10. I cannot wait for it to reopen after the 29th of May or later. Not sure. Hopefully they fix it soon. But yeah, can't wait for it to reopen. Very, very solid ride. 11 out of 10. Thank you.